Hey guys, it's Chuke here with Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Now, many of you know I'm a big fan of the 45 ACP round, and I think it gets a lot of flack. A lot of people like to make fun of it, say it's a FUD round, you know, 2 world wars, that kind of thing. But if you look at the specs of good ammo, like modern plus P ammo, the 45 is actually a great idea. It's a great round, and it has proven to work against charging bears, believe it or not, even brown bears. Now we're going to take a look at some cases from ammoland.com. I know I've been showcasing my HK45 Tactical. It's got a long barrel. I'm getting good power out of it, but I'm trading it up for a Mark 23 HK, the SOCOM pistol with almost a 6-inch barrel. And when you get to that length of barrel, you can get really good power from the 45 ACP, especially with something like Buffalo Boar, Underwood, things like that. It's just a great round. I've got the FNX 45 Tactical. This one's been upgraded with the 460 rolling barrel, but I can still shoot 45 ACP out of it, 45 Super. It's just a great round because the diameter is very big, and like I said, with really powerful ammo, you can really do a lot of damage. Now let's take a look at some of these cases. This was compiled by Dean Weingarten with ammoland.com, who did a whole series and a study on pistol defense against bears. And in the study, he found that pistols have actually been successful, and a lot of people were surprised about the calibers he talked about. Even 40 Smith & Wesson gets a lot of flack, but many of them were 45 ACP. Now, this has been updated, but in the case study I found, he said we have found 9 cases where 45 ACP pistols were used to defend against bears, 6 against black bears, 3 against brown bears. All were successful. And I even have another one to throw in the mix from Alaska, but some of these were in Alaska. So we're going to start at the beginning. The first one is spring 1920s, Skykomish River, Washington State, a black bear. This guy had a 1911, his Colt 45. And this was published, it was Colt on the Trail, published in 1934. So Jack Jackson had a holstered Colt 45, that's his 1911, when he came face to face with an aggressive, dominant black boar at 10 feet, black bear boar. He shot the boar 6 times with the 1911, having to reload 4 of the cartridges because he had fired 5 shots on the way to his fishing hole. The incident was witnessed by Walter R. Elwin of Seattle, who wrote it up and sent it to Colt. So very cool. Walter Levin of Seattle is recorded as dying in 1950. So old story, guy took out a bear with his good old 1911. That's right, chambered in 45 ACP. Next story, here we go, Alaska, Kenai Peninsula, Skilac Lake, 1970s. I've been to Skilac Lake. It's a very large lake. It's so big when the wind whips up, it's actually dangerous to be on a small boat on the lake. So this was from More Alaska Bear Tales, page 271. Morris Goff and Jack detailed the account without the date. It was just in the 70s. So between bear raids, both men yelled and frantically sought the pistol, having forgot the shotgun. Finally, Maurice found the pistol, pulled it from his holster, and emptied the gun into the charging Hulk. The bear altered his course. Maurice scrambled for a tree. He begged Jack to do likewise, but Jack refused to do so until he's got his hands on his scattergun. Moments later, Maurice felt the barrel of the shotgun and discovered Jack was on his way up the foot-thick cottonwood. The next morning, the approximately 800-pound bear was found dead about a half-mile away. Killed the bear with a 45 ACP, and it was found dead, a brown bear. That's incredible. August 22nd, 2009, in Montana, Grizzly shot with 9 rounds of 45 ACP from a Glock 21. That's a good pistol. This is from gunnerforum.org. There was not much news covered of my friend's incident up in this place in Marius Pass area here in Montana. The proper agencies investigated and found him to have defended himself against the 400-pound sow grizzly with 2 cubs. Roy was on the edge of his property tending his fence line. Out of the brush, this bear came straight at him with their ears back. That's a bad sign when they put their ears back, start running. Roy drew and put 3 rounds of the 230 grain full metal jacket in her neck, shoulder area, then took off away from the trail about 5 yards. Roy said the bear was still coming at him. He fired 3 more rounds in her frontal area, took off another 5 yards in another direction. The sow kept coming at him. He fired 3 more rounds in her frontal area, and she dropped, taking a dirt nap. Roy called to report the incident, and they came out and brought a metal detector to find all the extracted shell casings. They found that he acted within his right to protect himself against a grizzly bear attack, but then they said, they had the nerve to say, they wished he would have used counter-assault bear spray. Roy did not have any, so they gave him a can, plus some 12-gauge cracker shells and some other 12-gauge shells with rubber bullets in them. Roy came into town and purchased a Glock 20 10mm auto now. I'm glad Roy is okay. So they scolded him and told him he should have used bear spray. That wouldn't have worked against close big bear like that at close range. May 28, 2010, another one in Alaska. I remember this was in the newspapers. Denali National Park. Backpacker stops grizzly attack with .45 pistol. A grizzly bear that emerged from a thicket and charged 2 backpackers in the backcountry of Denali National Park and Preserve was shot and killed by the one who was carrying a .45 caliber semi-automatic pistol, according to park officials. The killing Friday is believed to be the first instance of a hiker killing a grizzly in the park's wilderness. The killing occurred in the original Mount McKinley National Park portion of Denali, which was expanded by 2/3 in 1980. Now, I remember this. They said he took like 12 shots. I believe it was a Glock 21 just because of the amount of rounds he used. I don't believe it was a 1911, but they never reported on what brand pistol he had. So, that was a grizzly bear, interior grizzly here in Alaska. July 2nd, 2010, California, Yellow Jacket Campground, 45ktvn.com, black bear. Officials say the camper woke up to hear the bear going through an ice chest. He confronted the animal, and it charged and scratched the man's face. The man shot the bear, but it got away. Wildlife rangers tracked the bear down and killed it late Friday. The man went out with a gun and tried to shoo the bear away. McIntyre said the bear charged the man, knocking him to the ground, scratching his face. The bear left with food. The man tried to shoot away again and knocked him down. Then he fired a shot from his .45 caliber pistol, and the animal ran away. So at that time, he probably wounded it, but he did deter the attack and it scratched his face. All right, another one in Alaska, July 7th, 2014, Alaska, 45 versus 9-foot brown bear, 45 semi-auto. That's a big brown bear, 9 foot. Many people claim that handguns are useless for protection against bears. Numerous examples have shown that this is a false notion. I agree, 100%. Handguns may not be ideal as defensive weapons for bears. Of course, a shotgun's better, but they can be effective. In a defensive situation, you have to use what is available. In this case, a homeowner in Alaska used a .45 against a brown bear that was trying to get into his house on July 7th of this year. He and his son were in his home. He had scared off the animal with some warning shots just 3 hours before. So he did take the bear out with his .45. September 6, 2015, Colorado, Winter Park, 45 handgun, Mike Perez, CBSLocal.com, and Mike Perez, CO Fish and Game, black bear. According to Mike, with Colorado Parks and Wildlife, the bear came into the family's campground while they were present and went after some food that was out. An armed adult attempted to scare the bear by firing 2 shots. The bear did not show any fear, wouldn't leave, so the camper then shot and killed the bear and immediately reported it to wildlife officers. They found that it was justified, done with a .45 ACP handgun, didn't say what kind. June 25th, 2019, Washington State, Petite Lake, .45 Glock 21 black bear. And AmmoLand.com reported on this. Black bear charged a man, chased his dog, then pursued him up a tree until he shot it and killed it with a pistol. The attack occurred in Pend Oreille County, Washington State, near Petite Lake. The defender fired a shot in an attempt to scare the bear away, but that did not work, so he killed it. November 7th, 2019, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, .45 ACP, Greg Sapp, black bear at Motel 6. He turned around and looked. There was No more than 20 feet away, its feet on a tipped-over trash can, was a huge black bear. The bear did not notice him immediately. But Greg's dog had come out, peeked around the corner, growled, barked. The bear jumped over the downed trash can, landed with a woof, and charged directly at Greg. Everything happened extremely fast, but Greg had moved into a psychological state of tachypsychia, where everything seemed to slow down. This is a common effect when a human perceives a deadly threat. You get that adrenaline rush. It also distorts distance and can cause tunnel vision, focused on the threat. Greg said, oh fuck, the 45 Kimber, oh, it was a Kimber 1911, appeared in his hand. He was firing with the bear taking up his whole field of vision, Greg told me. Everything went into time lapse. It seemed like it took forever. In Greg's heightened state of awareness, he could hear the first 3 bullets hit. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Then his ears were ringing. The bear dropped its head down as he fired the last 3 shots at extremely close range. Greg said it was 3 feet or less. The bear hit the railing of the walkway 2 feet in front of him, turned left, and went down the walkway away from Greg, who had the empty Kimber in his hand. Later, they found that bear dead. There was another one in Alaska in the Matsu Valley where a brown bear was getting into some trash. It was creating a danger, and a guy shot it from his balcony with a 45 ACP. It was like 7 shots. I believe it was a 1911 just because it was 7 shots. It killed the brown bear, and it was justified because it was causing a problem on his property. A lot of people said that it wasn't justified when I covered it before on one of these videos, but I believe it was. It was a big, dangerous brown bear. So let me know what you guys think. That's 10 cases where the 45 ACP did work against bears, even brown and grizzly bears. Now, a lot of people will say that it's not good enough, but if it's all you have, definitely take the 45 with you. Now, as one of the articles said, the 12 gauge shotgun with slugs, a 45-70, a hunting rifle is always the best option. But when you're out hiking, sometimes it's not feasible to take a big, heavy, long gun with you. So a lot of times we take pistols. And if all you have is a 45 ACP, make sure you get some Underwood, some Buffalo Bore, double tap, some Plus P, some lead if you can, hard cast lead, and just protect yourself. So stay safe out there, guys. I'll have another video up for you Friday about a recent death we had from a black bear that happened just this week. Sad story. It's Chuke, your friend in the field.
My name is Chuke. I like to trade my guns just for fun, but now I have none. Oh, look, get shot by a bear, but I don't care. I got a 10mm. Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Watch you all die every